Alrighty, so we are actually going to be live here. I wanted to do this hangout because I wanted to talk to you about Chime and what it can do, and I've heard a lot of people going through the demo, and I wanted to do a demo on what it's like to actually utilize Chime as an agent. So we're going to go ahead and rip through all this real fast so you guys can kind of get an overview on how easy this is to use. Now, this is the back end of Aurora's demo site. So we've got a demo site and a live site. They kind of intermingle, but not really. We've got enough in here that we can actually do stuff, but we generally take like dead leads and put them in here. So anyways, I want to show you guys what this is all about. So first off, I want to get right out of the way here. I do not work for Chime. I'm just a user. Granted, I do a lot of use with Chime, but what I want to get in here is there's been so many questions that have been asked by so many different people on what Chime is, what Chime does, why Chime is slightly more expensive than Real Geeks, why it is cheaper than Boomtown. And I wanted to kind of hammer out some of this stuff so that people can kind of start understanding exactly what it is that Chime does and how it does it differently, and why I feel that Chime is going to be taking the position of a lot of the major, the big names that you know, the Boomtowns, the Real Geeks, the CINCs, within the next year. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. So what I want to do here is I've had requests on what people want to see, but I want to dive into this like you're a brand new user. You've never, ever done this before. Now, with a lot of the platforms that are out there, you have to build your own website. So Chime actually goes ahead and builds your website for you. That's part of your initial onboarding with support, is they build out your website the way you want it to be. So if we actually use Aurora's as an example, this is a pretty stock website for Chime. And by stock, I mean, yeah, have we made a couple of upgrades to it? Yeah, sure. You can click in, and I'll show you how to do this real quick with the video. But you can have a video in your background. That's very, very easy to do. That's a one-click function. Yes, we obviously had a custom video made for Aurora, but otherwise, this is a very, very standard layout. All the featured listings go right up front. You can have whatever you want in the featured listings. You've got call to action banners. You have reviews built in, and then you have city functions built in as well. Now, what I want to talk about here, this is all built in, meaning we didn't have to really do anything here. This isn't like Real Geeks where you have to hire someone to come in and build out your website. This is all done for you. Your community pages are all done for you. So you type in the city that you want it to go to, and it imports all of the data for you. All of this is done. This is not something that has to be built out. So what I try to explain to people, because they say, well, Brett, I don't want to build out another website. I don't want to hire someone to build out another website. Well, with Chime, you don't have to. It's all automatic, which is phenomenal for those that don't like coding. Other people have asked, well, what does it look like to have like a property website built out? Well, this is the version 2, and we'll explain why we use version 2 later. This is stock, meaning this comes exactly as you see it from Chime. You have the similar homes that are in here. You have the walk score that's in here. If you want to sort by properties that are nearby, you can have it automatically sort by properties that are nearby. We like schools because people in Richland generally like to know what schools are nearby. Same with Kennewick. But you have all of this information. All of this is done automatically. If you use a Matterport 3D tour like we do, you'll understand then that why this is important to have right up front. But you have Matterport right here, and then you have all of your really high quality photos. Unlike Boomtown, where you cannot click on the photos, you can click on these photos, you can scroll in, you can have a very easy user experience. Now, what I think a lot of people will say is, well, we want to modify the heck out of this. Well, you can't. You can change between templates, but I want to show you something that one of the largest competitors for real estate agents these days is Redfin. So we're going to do Seal Beach. Sorry, Redfin isn't in my area up here. So we're going to have to go to Seal Beach so you can understand, but we're going to click on one of these real fast. Now, if you notice, this and this look pretty darn similar. Why? Because this converts. This converts really, really well. So when you have something like this with similar homes, you have all the information that you need, you have all the stuff that you need with a scheduled tour. If you notice, it looks very, very similar to this. One of the big things that I've heard is, well, Brett, I don't like that it pulls up a map search when you click search for homes. Well, fun fact, you can actually change this to land wherever you want. And usually we sort by, I have to go back in and look at this because on like Aurora's main site, we'll search by latest listing. So this will be what it usually pulls up. This is our entire service area up here. So if you wanted to, let's say you wanted people to land on a specific community like Horn Rapids. We're going to type in Horn Rapids. We're going to go here. Now, here's the fun part about this. You can zoom in to whatever you want the user to see when they first click on this. What I mean by that is watch. We copy this URL. We go into here. And then if you were to like land someone on this page, you can literally paste it. It's going to pop up just the way you had it before. Now, if you don't like the map for whatever reason, if you don't want it to look like Redfin's that converts really, really, really well, and you don't want it to map like this, you don't have to. You can actually change it so it's grid, remove the map, and now you can link this page to anybody you want. So anybody can land on this without a problem. If you want it in grid format, great. If you want it in list format, great. You can have sidebars put in here if you want to. But in my opinion, the thing that actually converts the best is if you leave it as basically as stock as you can. Why? Because it works. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be using this if it didn't work. Other people have told me, well, Brett, with a map search, you can't really drill down to the features. Like here are your drop downs. But again, I want to pull your attention to something. Let's go with more filters over here. Redfin, which is arguably one of the most trafficked websites next to everybody's favorite, Zillow.com. Look at this. This is even crazier. There's no search. So let's go Seal Beach, CA. Okay, so let's try to filter this. These are our filters. That's it. So why? Why are there so few filters on here? Why are there so few filters on here? And why are there so few filters on here? Because back in 2004, 2005, when a lot of your web providers, your IDX sites were originally designed, drop-down tabs were very, very common. Now, if you use Real Geeks, you can have support add like 1 billion drop-down tabs, which is hideous looking. Here's what you can do instead. And this is what all of these sites are going toward. So we're going to remove outline here because I know what I'm going to type in and I know what it's going to do. I'm going to type in dock. Why? Because now this is only going to search for homes that have a dock. Now, I can get even crazier with my filters because all it's going to do is it's going to add on to that keyword. So if, say you wanted waterfront, you can get waterfront. If you see what I mean, it's very intuitive. Well, now let's go over here and do that same thing here. Now, we don't have waterfront and we don't exactly have docks. So we're going to use something a little bit different here. We're going to type in horses because we do have horse property. So these are all the properties that you can have horses on. So it's very, very intuitive. You can break it down by community. So if you were like, Westcliff, and you start like, how do I spell Westcliff? Oh, hey, look, Westcliff, Richland, Washington. It's right there. Now, obviously, we don't have horses in Westcliff, so we have to do that again. So when you type in Westcliff, Richland, Washington, it's like, oh, that's where that is. Now, why is this important? Because a lot of people will have friends that live in the area, right? And they're going to say, oh, you need to live in Westcliff. And someone's going to be like, Westcliff? How the heck do I get to Westcliff? Where's Westcliff? And they start typing this stuff in. It's like, oh, that's where Westcliff is. Or Creekstone. That's where Creekstone is. Oh, okay, that makes so much more sense. Like, oh, you should really live, you should live over here. You should live in Meadow Springs. So their friends are going to tell them this kind of stuff, and they're going to be able to be like, oh, I know where that is. Okay. Well, the other thing you can do, and I have it turned off on Aurora's site, but I can turn it on really fast. You can actually have neighborhoods built into this. So we have it by city. So if we go back out of here, and I will show you exactly what I'm talking about here in just a second. I actually have to go in a different way because we did a wrapper with hers, and there's a vanity site, but we'll show you that later. I don't recommend that. But if right now we have this broken down by city: Richland, Kennewick, West Richland, Prosser, Benton City, Pasco. You can have individual areas inside of here that are Creekstone or neighborhoods. So you can break it down as finite as you want. But again, remember, all of this populates automatically. So it will automatically make you look like the resident expert of this area, which is awesome. We still display open houses. You can actually turn those off if you want, but we still display them. My point is, you can drill down as much or as little as you want. So let's go ahead and dive back into here. Let's close Redfin. Let's go Zillow. Let's dive back into here. So what I want you guys to see is I want you to see how easy this is to do anything on the website. Okay. So we're going to go in here. This is actually the back end of the website. So you're used to seeing like if you're with Real Geeks, you're used to seeing something that looks like it's out of like the early 2000s, like the Y2K generation. It almost looks like it was made in DOS. But let's just say for a second here, you want to edit anything on here. So you're like, oh man, I really want to change this. So you click on that section of it, and here's what it allows you to do. You can add a title. You can add a tagline underneath. Now, we used to have that on here, but we got rid of it because we have this going, which is part of the video. You can have an image, a slideshow, or a video. You can have volume or not. You can have it autoplay or not. My advice on all this is autoplay, auto. Turn off your volume, turn off your progress bar. You can come in here and change the style of however you want this. If you want it, see, we left it on style number 3, search for home. See, it looks just like this, but you can have a search bar in there if you want. We decided not to do that. You can change anything you want. You can go into, and I've removed a lot of this, but let's just go down to property details. So you can even change the way that your property detail page shows up. You can choose listing version 1 or 2. So let's look at what 1 looks like. This is 1. You have your similar homes on the side. You have go tour, favorite, mortgage calculator. Personally, I don't like this one as much as version 2. I think version 2 converts a little better because it looks exactly like Redfin. You can have your nearby properties. So when you scroll down here and it talks about where the nearby properties are to the area, you can choose how far out you want those: 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, 4, whatever your neighborhood supports. You can change all of the stuff on your mortgage. So let's say, for example, mortgage rates are like 4.7%. You can change this to 4.7% to keep it really updated. If you want to change it, if most people in your area are first-time home buyers and they're only putting 5% down, and you're really trying to focus your site toward first-time home buyers, you can put 5% down there. Previous and next button, that shows the previous and next properties. Next, previous. And then property details, open mode. So this is if you want it to open in a new page or remain on the same page. We open in a new page because we want our search live behind it. Super, super, super simple on that one. But as you can tell, I mean, you can change anything you want. This is your menu. You can change your entire menu in here. Now, what we did, and the reason why I mentioned the wrapper, we actually have our Chime site wrapped in a WordPress site. Why did we do that? Because of all the extra marketing that we do, we needed more than just an IDX website. We needed something that was very customizable and very, with all the other stuff that we do, we kind of had to change some stuff. But if you were to click on, if you had this open in your site, you could have featured listings. You could have the selling page. Let's see if it'll let me actually go to that. Oh, I think I did not do that right. We will find out. Let's see if it'll let me do that. This is what happens when you do stuff live, guys. Yeah, see, it won't let me because I turned it off. But you have the home valuation. I wonder if it'll let me actually visible that. Let's see if that worked. So we're gonna hit publish. I'm gonna have to go back and change all that here in a second, but I want to see if it actually went live. Cool. Selling, sell my home. You have a very, very basic sell your home page that you can build out however you want. I'm going to turn that off. Like I said, I turned that off a long time ago, so I probably broke something. knowing how I work, I probably broke it. But you can see how easy it is to utilize this. That's what I'm trying to prove with this. We've turned a lot of stuff off. Anywho, next time I won't do this live. You can request your registration trigger. How long before people sign up? Now, on the demo site, we have it at 3. Usually it's at 1. Let's go ahead and keep going through this. So landing pages. If you want to build out a landing page, say you want a lead gen page, a home valuation page, a single property page, so you have a new property that maybe isn't in the MLS, you wanted a pocket listing, a multi-property grid, or a multi-property map. You can do all of that. We're going to go single page property address. We're going to do 123 Main. Well, actually, let me do that. Yeah, okay, so let's see if it'll let me do this. Let's just try one of these. So you can find one from the MLS, and you can actually. Of course, I did a commercial property. But you can change this to be whatever you want it to be. You can change this specific page to be on, like we were showing you earlier, on this kind of a detail page. Come on, load. You can have it load like that. You can have it load the other way, the way that I like it. You can, again, change all of this stuff for one specific property. This is for a single property site only. So that would go under the new page. I'm going to delete this because I don't want that on there. We can create a, let's go with a lead generation page. Save. This is for, let's say you had a new build area and you wanted to change stuff. So you can change all of this however you want. You can put whatever text in here you want. You can put Horn Rapids new homes. And you could put whatever photo you want in there. But my point is, let's say you had a billboard and you wanted anybody that saw the sign to be driven to your lead capture. Guys, this also works for open houses. You can also get it for that. You can also get it for really any form of lead capture you're looking for. Very, very, very simple lead capture page. All of that would be imported. We're going to get to the open house thing here in a few. This is going to be kind of a longer video, just so we're all clear on this. The other thing you can do with this is pocket listings. And I want to go back here, add a pocket listing. So you can enter all of your details in here however you want them. Put all your images in here, your virtual tour in here, the whole kit and caboodle in here as a pocket listing. So this is kind of like a coming soon. But if you've used coming soons on any different platform, I really want to show you something. How many times have you had I have to import each individual image? Okay, you don't have to do that on here. You can literally click and you can import as many as you want, and then you can shuffle them all around really easily. Super, super simple. You have your key details, you have your property details, so you can fill all of this out. If you want to hold an open house at your private pocket listing, you can do that as well. So It's like, think of like a coming soon page on steroids. Let's go to the next section, listing filter. Okay, so this is where on the home page, you have your featured listing. So this is literally featured listings right here. So you can have on here, like if you look on Aurora's front page, you're going to see, notice there's no open houses. She kept pending on here, but everything else is new and hot, right? So that's done through here. The first thing is anything with her license in it. So if you have a team, you can put all of your teammates' licenses in here. If you have an office, you can put your office license in here. Anyway, so that all goes here. The next thing that she did was she wanted it sorted by anything with her name in it. So we are a member of 2 different MLSs here. So anything with her name in it, it will show up in the first part of that featured listing. And after that, because we have this limited to how many people, how many houses will show up. But then she puts in here the Platte of Richland, which is the area that she absolutely loves to work. We're really well known in this area. So we want to be right here in this area. We're going to exclude all open houses. We're going to have it pull from this MLS. This is the type of property it's going to pull. It's only going to show active. It's only going to show houses with pictures. And if we have any pocket listings in the area at all, it's going to pull them up. It will not show rentals at all. You can change that. If you're a rental management company, you put it all for rent. So you can change that to whatever you want. In your all listings, this is where this gets kind of crazy because we can actually, let's say you work an area or your MLS works an area, but your MLS works a much bigger area than you work. You can actually limit on all listings. You can limit it down to the areas that you specifically want to work. For example, Aurora really doesn't want to work outside of these zip codes. Will she do it? Sure. Does she like to do it? Not really. So all of these are now going to be filtered based on the areas that she works. So no matter how wide in the map you get, it's only going to show these specific areas. Homes for sale in. This is another group that we've actually turned off, but you can have this in here. This actually comes into, this will come into play on like the buy portion of the website. You'll see it if you turn it on. Open houses in the Tri-Cities. Okay, so a lot of people I know in other groups have talked about open house pages. Yes, you can have an open house page. And so I want to show you how you can do that really fast. Pardon my internet right now. It is intermittent at best. But I want to show you how you can have a multi-property grid. We're going to call this open houses. I cannot type as well, if you cannot tell. Listing filter, open houses in the Tri-Cities. Save. So now when you go to that, let's see if I can find that now because I am all over the place this morning. That's what it looks like. You can change that by map. So you can put it up so it searches by map. You can zoom in on that. And then you can send this link to people. So a lot of people have said, well, I want to be able to show open houses, right? I want to be able to show where they are, how they're happening, what have you. I want to be able to post these in Facebook groups to show people all the open houses that are coming this weekend. This is how you do this, because then you take this link, you copy it, and you paste it on over into your Facebook groups. And now you can run ads for open house, all the open houses over the weekend. I'm going to delete that because we don't do that. Okay, so that takes care of that. Let's go down to settings. Everybody says, well, how do I build out this site, right? So here is the actual templates that you can choose from. My suggestion after testing literally everything in here, always choose the second one. It just, I will tell you right now, the conversion is the best. You then from there can pick your theme. Well, we have our theme. We like pink. You can create your little icon that goes up in the upper left-hand corner, your company name or your company information, your who you are. Welcome to Aurora. You have agent information, agent social networks, which we actually don't put in there because we don't let our agents have social media on their website. It's only Aurora. Neighborhoods we work, This actually comes into these pages right here are actually let's open this up so you can see what this looks like. This is actually on the front page. So this is this. So we're in Richland right now. That's here. So you can have anything. If you don't want the life index, the crime rate, that kind of stuff, hide that. If you don't want, if you have a census place instead of a postal city, aka Canada, you can put that in here. If you want tags, you can have tags in there. We don't put any of that in there. We just leave it as stock as we can. The best part, though, is you can have neighborhoods in here. And this is what I was talking about. And so the other day I came in here, and I just want to make a full disclosure of why there's so many neighborhoods in here. I came in here, and I thought it was really funny. I may have had a few to drink. And I put in like, oh, let's see all the neighborhoods that I can add in here. Well, here's the problem. I added all of them, like every MLS neighborhood in our area, which was not the smartest idea if I were to say so. My point is you can actually have, and I don't want to turn this on right now because it's off on our menu for a reason. You can actually have it. So you can have on a drop-down tab up here, it will actually have your neighborhoods in there. So if there's specific neighborhoods you really like to work and you're like, Brett, I can't get everything I need done in these 6 little boxes, great. You can have an entire drop-down for every neighborhood in your area. And then your default nearby. So if you look on, we'll use this one real fast. If you look on here, of course, see, it's already forcing me for my info. I wonder if I'm logged in on this one. I'm not. So what it'll ask for is it will show you the nearby areas, what's nearby. And you can choose properties, schools, or businesses. That is what this is all about. General, you can have your Google Analytics ID in here, your Facebook Pixel. I'm not going to pull up either one of those because it actually has live information in it. This is where you can do custom scripting. If you're really into changing things on websites and you know CSS, good for you. If you know programming and coding, you can change other stuff. Good for you. What the name of your source is, it will be marked as website. Registration, required after 3, which I don't like. But we also have it required when you have the calculator used, when clicking a property's history, any of the sort. Property promotion. We don't actually have any properties being promoted right now, but you can. This is again like a coming soon. You can do the same thing in here. We've already seen this page. It's just in a different section. That is the back end of how to edit a website. That is it. That is how easy it is. That is how simple it is. It is really not challenging at all. Literally anybody can do this. Someone in the Facebook group asked me highlighting a new listing with a video and photos, community pages with resources. Okay. So Jennifer, this one is for you. You want to be able to add a page highlighting a new listing with video and photos. If it's not imported already from your MLS, you can literally click on property promotion, add a new page. You can type in whatever you want in here and put all of your information in here. That's how simple it is. Your images get imported. You can import as many as you want. It's in there. That is the simplest way to do that. That's how you add one that is not on the market yet. Let's see. You also wanted to know how to build out community pages with resources for pet owners, which likely include links. Okay, let's go into that real fast. So we create a new page by going into you'll see a little page here. You can actually come onto here and you can add a page, and it's going to ask you what type of page do you want. You're going to create a blank page. We're going to call this pets. Now it added it up here. Now you can add a new block. You can have rich text. You can have images. Well, let's do an image. You can change this to whatever you want. You could call this Aurora's pet page. You can change this to pretty little photos of the pet community that you have in here. You can then go back to blocks. You can put in a new block, a rich text block. You can type anything you want in here, add some photos in here, click to edit rich text. This is what you see is what you get kind of editor. You can add, you can go back to blocks. You can add another block in here. You can put blog information in here. So if you have a blog, you can put some blog stuff in here. If you go in here and you go, oh man, you know what else I really want? I want to show listings that are really good with pets. Like what good listings in here? New filter. Okay, let's call this pets listings. We can go on market. We can come in here and we can go, okay, let's add a filter. And so you can literally come in and you can select whatever you want. Property size, you want it to be a house. Here is a price point. Here's the area. So let's say horses, because that's a big one here. You can put in there how big of a lot, if they allow horses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Literally unlimited amount of content can be built out of this. Let's delete this page. Speaking of pets, you probably hear my dog out there. This is probably going to yell at me because of all the stuff that I just did and then deleted. Let me make sure I didn't break anything in the process. You always have to hit publish. Cool. That's all back to where it should be. I feel much better now. Okay. That should take care of the back end. So Jennifer, I really hope that helps what you're doing. Okay. So love to hear how you're integrating BombBomb into Chime. Okay. So we're going to get right into that. So we're going to go back into the CRM. Again, this is how you get started. It will literally walk you through. It'll tell you, connect your email account, invite your agents and lenders. Yes, Chime allows you to split the cost of the Chime site with your lender. And it's done automatically for you. It's not like Real Gates where you have to like later go tell the guy like, hey, give me, $80 for my website. It's already done. So they will split that with your lender for you. Import lead and lead capture. We'll get all of this here in a bit, but it tells you how to get through everything. Okay, so let's go into BombBomb because that is the big one. So we're going to go into settings. We're going to go into smart plans, and I'm just going to show you. So these are the smart plans. If you don't know what this is, basically the way Chime works is we've imported all of this in here for you. By we, these are, if you have any plans at all in your smart plans when you sign up with them, that's because of me. So anyways, that's all in here. I do want to show you, I'm going to show you a different way on how to do this. We'll just go, let's see if I can find myself Brett. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that one. So I'm going to send myself an email. Okay. So Joe, here's how you integrate BombBomb with this. You click on insert BombBomb video. Ready? You can send anything you want out of this. That's how easy it is. So you can record a new video. We can hit record a new video and it will record a new video and it will send out. It's that easy. Literally, it does not get simpler than that. So anytime you want to send an email, you can send an email. You can embed a YouTube video. You can insert listings. Yeah, that's a cool one. So you can actually search by address. Trying to remember any off the top of my head. Let's go with 315 Spokane. 315 Spokane. Come on. My internet's going real slow. But you can literally insert, you can literally insert this into here. But that's not the only one we want to send. We want to send 646 Summit. Gee, this one, Summit. Let's see if that, oh yeah, let's put that in there too. That might be a good one. Insert. So it will literally send it just like it normally sends a regular email. You can put a template in here. You can put a team template in here. Let's go with, let's see which one I want to use on this. After a quick meeting. Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't click the right section. Usually you do the template before you send it out. But anyways, you can send this all out. You can put in here, found a couple homes for you. Done. And you can send it. Super, super, super simple. And it comes across looking really pretty. That is how all of Chime's emails come across. So it'll look like this when it comes out. That's how all of Chime's emails come across. They always come across with, here, this is actually one that was sent to me. This is the property update information. So you can actually come through here, and these are instant notifications. Chime allows for instant notifications, unlike Real Geeks, that is once a day. Boomtown, that is like twice a day, 3 times a day, I think. This is instantaneous, and we'll get to that here in a minute. Like I said, I promise you, I'm going to cover a lot of stuff in here because I'm going through all the questions and everybody's asking for it. I'm trying to do this in somewhat of an organized manner, but I want you to know this is going to take a little bit because there is so much stuff to talk about. But anyways, as some of you have seen in my other videos, we're going to get to all of this. But if you've seen some of my other videos, there's so much augmentation with artificial intelligence in here. It's like not even funny. So we'll get into how this all works. In fact, I'm going to start here now that I've covered Jennifer and I've covered Joe. Let's see who else I've got on here. Okay. How do you... Okay, cool. So let's answer this next question. How does it actually work? Let's go through here and how does it actually work in the CRM so you can see exactly how this all operates. Okay, so here is the information right off the bat. First of all, there's pipelines and there's groups. So let's talk about the pipeline for a minute. Pipeline is anything that you have in Real Geeks that would have called this, like, I guess, urgency, I guess would be the only way that I can describe it. Pipeline can be anything. And what it does is it breaks people down into a segmented area that they can be sitting. So let's use, for example, active people that are actively under contract. Closed, people that have already closed their sale. They're done. You can also, we use closed escrow, and we'll explain why later. Nurturing, people that you're nurturing. If you put them in one of these, you can assign a smart plan to automatically drip to them. So we'll remember this later. Pipeline is its own group, I guess you'd call it, own area. Group, on the other hand, is a subsection of a pipeline, but the group is actually a tag. So you can tag someone. They can be a buyer with inside the new leads group, if that makes sense. I really wish they would call this something other than group because it's hard to wrap people's head around. You can call this bucket instead of pipeline, where you have a giant bucket, and inside of that, you actually have individual, like, partitioned areas. Why is this cool? Okay. It's cool because you can break your pipeline down individually. Is it a seller, a buyer, or in our case, a realtor? People register on her site all the time that are realtors. What does it break down to? So we're going to keep going through here. You can call directly from the actual, I guess you'd call it CRM. I drew a blank there. You can call from the CRM. You can text from the CRM. You can literally send a template like, hey, want some updates? Okay, so you have that texting capability. And if you notice, it's not like Real Geeks' crappy little pop-up down here where you have like 700 pop-up. This will, it's an all-in-one system. It's designed for this. You can email directly out of this. As you've seen, we can add a template in here. A few questions. You can put that in there. You can put in here any variables that you want. You can put in here any listings that you want. You can put in a YouTube video that you want. You can put in a BombBomb video that you want. You can put anything you want in here. What you will also see when you open this is all of the emails that you have sent. When I say you, the CRM has sent, or you have sent, or your teammates have sent. All of this shows, why is this important? And this is one of those things that I think a lot of people go, Brett, who gives a crap, right? Who cares? Because here's what we used to get all the time. If you've ever had an IDX website before, I promise you've had this. Ready? Hey, yeah, I'm calling about that house you guys sent me. It was kind of modern looking. It was in Richland. It was bluish. It had a yellow door. Yeah, that's that. Oh man, can we go see that one? And this is what every agent does. That's, I mean, literally, because you always go, well, what house are you? So you feverishly get onto your Real Geeks website and you start browsing for like all houses. Well, do you remember what price point it was in? I don't know, somewhere on our price point. Okay, well, that's like 100,000 to like 400,000. Great, that limits me down to 119 homes. Okay, so from there, crap, yellow door, can't search by yellow door, can't search by blue house, can't search by kind of modern. Hey, what day did I send that to you on? Today? Oh, it was today that I sent it to you? Yeah. Okay, well, so what do? We go in here and we start looking at emails that we sent. And we go, 2 new homes for Brett. Let's pull this up. Not that one. Oh, hey, was it the one on Brody for like 300 grand? Yeah. Okay, let me see if we can get you into that. Do you want to go check that out today? Oh man, we would love to. Pull it up real fast on here. See how it looks on here. Are you sure? So that's the one that it kind of looked like a model home. You know, it looks like it's pretty new. Yeah. That's the one. Okay, let me schedule us a tour on that one. But do you see what I just did there? You can come across where you don't see what people think is they think that when you send these automated property drips to them, that you are hand selecting these for them. That is what most people think. And while you may disagree with me on that, I've tested it a lot. Most people think that when these get sent to them, it is Aurora sending these to them. So when you say, which one was it? They're like, how do you not know? You sent that to me this morning. What do you mean you don't know which one you sent me? Instead of that, you can literally pull it up and be like, oh, you mean that one? You mean that one over on Brody? Yeah, that's a cool house. Yeah, I thought about you guys immediately when I saw that. Do you see how that makes you feel to them like you really care and that you're really doing your job of helping them find their house? Okay, so anyways, I digress. Sorry, I get a little heated on that subject. You can see all the properties that person has viewed, every single one of them that they have viewed. You can see every single one that they have favorited. You can see every single one that they've requested a home valuation for. So if this person owned several homes, you can see the home valuation that they got off of it. And it actually pulls up the same information that they had, which is crazy cool. And we'll get into here about all the other stuff you can do with this. But with Chime, when they request a home valuation, we're just going to use this one real fast. You can actually create a CMA inside of Chime using Cloud CMA. So if your MLS provides Cloud CMA for you, you can quite literally create a CMA and you can send that CMA to that client just inside of Chime without ever having to leave Chime. If you don't realize how cool that is, wait until you get one and have to send it to someone. So anyways, we'll keep going with this. Here's all the full details you can usually see once they've connected to a social network. Now, this site has been bakerized, which is a thing that we actually put in there that increases the overall insight and the analysis inside the artificial intelligence. All sites have this. You all have lead score. You all have lead analysis. We've just taken it and tweaked it a bit using a listener that we put onto the back end of your site. So what does a lead score mean and what does it do? Okay, so a lead score it breaks everything down and it uses key indicators to see how serious that person is about buying a house and where they are in the buying process. One of the biggest things that I see real estate agents having problems with is identifying who to follow up with and when. Okay, so since you as a real estate agent generally do a pretty crappy job of following up with leads, no matter how good you claim you are, everybody allows leads to fall through the cracks. So the guys over at Chime were like, God, how can we stop agents from not following up with people? Well, let's tell them who to follow up with and when. Now, if you don't see the value in that, you're crazy, because what do you need to do to make money in real estate? Do you need to follow up with leads, or do you need to go show houses, write contracts, and get listings? That's the money-making opportunity here. It's not sitting behind a desk and following up with people. What I see so many people do is they go online and they go, how can I create the cheapest freaking leads to get into my website? And how do I get in touch with every single one of them? Because then we have to follow up with 10 days of pain and we have to stay in front of them at all times so they remember who we are. Then we're getting 50 to 100 leads a day and we need to stay in touch with all of these people. And all of a sudden you turn into a robo dialer. And so what does every single agent do after they turn into a robo dialer? One, they stop doing it, or two, they hire it out. So now you've got someone in the Philippines calling all your leads for you. Now, here's the problem. You've just created a haystack of leads. You now are using someone that is not good at doing what you do, which is getting in touch with people, learning their needs, following up with them. You're taking that and you're handing it off to somebody else. So what Chime does, Chime recognized that problem. And so, yes, Aurora uses Ava because we all know that I love Ava. But long story short, Chime recognized right off the bat, hey, agents are historically bad about following up with leads. So how do we make this better? So they used artificial intelligence to start identifying off of a lead score who is getting really warm and who is getting to a point where you need to start paying attention to them. So what does it do? It takes in accountability for web activities, the price point that they're looking in, what they're doing as far as time frame when they start indicating time frame, which it uses technology and AI to be able to determine for you, contact validity, and communication to be able to determine where this person is. When they start coming back to the website over and over and over again, requesting showings, identifying time frames, looking at houses, and then having valid contact information. If you notice, we got dinged here because I accidentally shut off. I put my email into, this is my email, and I put this into vacation mode. And so it gave me an undeliverable. So the top indicators right now, I have a valid email, a valid phone. I'm a frequent site visitor. My house price point is $450 and above. Web activities, it shows me how many times I've searched, how many properties I've saved, how many houses I've viewed, how many requested showings I've made. It shows me all of my email open rates in here. It shows me my call connect rate. If you open another person that's actually not me, as far as a lead, it will show the emails that come back from the lead. So my point is, this will allow this information that you get from here is a really good way to identify how strong this lead is. Well, what it will start doing is it will start telling you what to do based on that information. And I'm sure I can find someone in here that I can show you. But it will also tell you their search criteria, why this is important. I'm going to back out of here for a minute. I'm going to try to find you someone. I'm going to try to, you know what? I'm going to try to find you someone that we're going to use Scott. Because Scott, no, bad example. I'm trying to find someone who actually has search criteria change. We're going to use, no. Geez, let me find someone here. 10 days ago. Let's go last visit. Okay. You know what? Actually, let's go lead score because one of these is going to be, let's use Phil. Ha! Okay. So this is a really good example. Notice how this is in blue. This recognized that this person is looking specifically at single family homes. Before, he was looking at everything. So if you click on that, it's going to say, hey, we suggest you put this as a single family home. So it's going to change our search criteria, which is really cool that it can do that. But that's not the only fun thing that we're going to use Aurora, because I guarantee you it's going to tell you stuff about her. This is perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so search criteria. It's going to say, hey, a trend has been discovered by Chime in the leads activities. So you click on it, and it's saying like, hey, based on the site activities, they're looking in Richland, Washington, not just Kennewick. Add Richland to the search. So this is going to now add it into search criteria, and the daily alert that goes out, and in this case, instant alert that goes out, is based on search criteria. This is a search criteria. So it sends the alert based on that. Now, you can change all kinds of stuff in here. I know I've messed around with hers, so we're going to mess around with it some more. Let's go in here and see all the cool things that you can do with this. Basic info. This is what she's looking for. These are the details on what she's looking for. Cool. Super simple. Now, let's make sure this goes out. So this is going out daily. So I messed with it so it goes out daily. But let's say that Aurora, for example, was like, hey, you need to be sending this to me immediately because it's a hot market. I'm in a hot price point. By the way, she has a 48.8% open rate. Just saying. So let's go in here and edit this so it sends out instantly, not just daily. We want this to send out immediately the second that it comes on the market. And I am trying to figure out how to do that again because this has changed on me today. Give me a second. Anyway, you can change that most of the time. I'm just trying to figure out, oh, it's in settings. Here we go. Okay. So you can change it so it is going instantly. I set it so it goes instantly. Okay, so you can change this so it goes instantly. It will not send open house information, which is kind of nice. But if that person really likes going to open houses, you can change that as well. You can make anything you want in here. You can set your search criteria any way that you want. You can add properties that the lead has been interested in. You can really do whatever you want. If you want to start your own search for them, this is kind of a cool feature. And I want to explain. So this was set up on their search criteria that they searched for, right? So they can see and they can edit this. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever had this before, but I used to get this all the time. Lead would be searching on the website and they'd go to change their search and they'd accidentally delete it. Well, then that person's no longer getting updates. They're not getting anything at that point, and that means that they're not coming back to your website. So when you set up a new alert, for example, you can make it so that they don't have a choice. They will not be able to change this search. And a lot of people will say, Brett, that I don't like that. I don't like that they can't change their search. Well, I do, because at the end of the day, I have to make sure that they're always getting it, because if they're not getting it, then they're not coming back to the website. So you can set them a search that they cannot delete, that they will then have to talk to you. So that way, when you go, hey, I need to change your search around, what are we looking for? Gives them a valid reason to reach out to somebody. Frequency. So when you create your own, you can select daily, instantly, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Let's go instantly. Actually, let's look at daily. You can send in the morning or in the afternoon. If you go instantly, it will go immediately. But, big but, if you put hand-picked listings, it's going to notify you first before it sends it to her, and it's going to let you select which of the new listings go to that person. Now, why is that important? Maybe you have that buyer that sometimes wants to go see properties that you know right off the bat are not a good fit for them. You can have it email you first to be like, hey, here's like the 12 new homes. And you're like, oh, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. Delete all those out of there and send it. You can handpick the listings before they go out to the person. You can send a copy to yourself. You can send the alert immediately. You can remove the open house information if you want. That is the power of Chime's CRM. It is crazy cool. So let's go. We're going to cruise off of Aurora's thing for a while here. The other thing that it will do is everybody says, well, I don't know what plan to send them. Give me some insight on how to use the plans that you've put in here. What would you do? Well, I would do this. Because of the artificial intelligence that Chime automatically applies to everything, plus the bakerization that my team will do, you can get it so it's super accurate and it tells you what to do and what plan to add. Aurora was not on her own website for a while. And this will tell her, hey, she's been gone for a while. You should probably add this smart plan so that it starts dripping to her. In fact, she'll kill me for doing this. She's in the other room, so she doesn't know I'm doing this. I'm just going to hit add. I'm going to let it send out so she can get an idea of what's being sent. You can see that right now she's being sent a smart plan because it's already in the applied plans section. If Aurora had a transaction going with herself, we're just going to use this Aurora as a lead right now. You can create a transaction based on the individual lead. So if they have a property that's been listed, you can actually assign them to that property, which if you're using marketing emails that go out to them, it's a really, really powerful stuff. So that should give you a breakdown of the AI. Let's keep going through this. What else can you do? You can send a welcome email. You can edit the details. You can do all kinds of stuff. We're going to keep browsing here because there is more to see. Lead Pond. Big deal. I don't have anything in Lead Pond right now. But if you are on the team plan with Chime, you will have Lead Pond, which means Lead Pond allows all of the leads that your office may get that you're not personally working. You can put them into Lead Pond so your agents can dive in there and they can work them as they see fit. Lead Pond is really, really cool. We're going to go to the things that I love the most. We're going to go to, and I've covered this several times, I want to talk to you about partial leads because these are all the partial leads. And if you run any form of home valuation ad, you're going to get partial leads. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that because with most platforms, you're going to have to go on and you're going to have to go to like Spokeo or Been Verified, and you're going to have to go find who actually owns that house. Then you're going to have to go on to NAR, RPR, and you're going to have to like figure out if they're really the owner. Then you're going to have to hope the information is right. Meanwhile, you're wasting a boatload of time. Other people I know, they mail to these people. They'll literally send them like a package. Other people will go drop a package off. Here's how I do it. I go onto here and I go, search for owners, right? And then it'll find matches because that's what Chime does. It's automatic. So if you literally come in here and you go, yeah, it may take a while to get the search. Of course, it's going to take a while. It's in, where did that just say it was? Plymouth. It was in like, yeah, anyways, Plymouth, Massachusetts. Of course, it's not going to find anybody. It's not my MLS. But we're going to do one that I did find. Sorry for the printing. Let's see. So these are the owners at 1717 Teal Drive in Park City. Now it's not going to pull up, but it's going to show what did pop up with that. So here's how accurate Chime is with this. If you're going to ask, this is actually a house I used to own. So there's my name, right? That was my phone number. That is my age. This is the guy that owned it before me. That was his number. That was his age. This is the guy that bought it from me. That was his number. Still is his number, actually. That is his age. This is my crazy ex. Feel free to spam the hell out of her. Point being, if I click on myself and I click next, it's going to import all of the information that it finds on me, which is mostly the phone number. Emails are harder to get, but you can text from there. My point is, you can literally rip through your partial leads here so fast and find owners, and it is 99% accurate. So my suggestion on this is if you get a lot of partial leads, I'd be all over this because you just saved yourself whatever Spokeo charges you and all the time that you've wasted trying to do this the old school way. That takes care of partial leads. Let's go in and look at a couple of other kind of freaking cool features that I really like in here. I'm looking through the questions. So you guys asked a bunch of questions on this. Can I show that? Okay, so let's see if we can do this one. So this is going to talk about, we obviously see we have tasks in here that these are the assigned tasks. Let's look at, I'm going to show you some really cool things here. Okay, so agent accountability. If you have a team, pay really close attention to this. Here's where you get new leads coming in. Here's how the calls were made. This is all agent accountability. Who's made the calls, who hasn't made the calls, who's emailed, text, etc. What's the contact rate? And then because Chime was like, okay, well, how do we explain to someone if they're doing a good job or they're not doing a good job? Oh, I know. Let's compare how everybody else that's using Chime is doing compared to that agent. So they give you an average on all of this, which is kind of nuts. This isn't available because we don't actually use this. But if you're, let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do it last month. Maybe that will be available for last month. It's going to take, sorry, my internet's going. Here we go. Okay, so call connect rate, email open rate. So you can see how everybody's doing. Aurora's are doing pretty bad because she doesn't send individual emails. Natalie does, though. So that's why she has a killer email open rate. Okay, so if you're a table kind of person and you want to be able to export this as a table, you can do that. Let's go through. If you actually use Chime the way you're supposed to use it, which is not the way we use it a lot of the time because we have other systems. But if you're using cte.biz, commitment to excellence, you can ditch the entire service because this does all of that. It shows how many new leads are in here, what percentage. It shows you how many leads you've converted. It shows you, I mean, literally everything out of this. Who's where? What's your total conversion rate, which is off because we just imported a boatload of new leads. Your closings, your GCI, and your revenue. Again, we don't utilize this. We have a different software program for this. We need to use this. We just have been a little slow to switch because we've been a little busy. This shows your lead growth over the course of the last week, month, quarter, year, shows you all of that stuff. Performance by agent. So this actually will be in, if you're using the transactional data, which is right in here. We don't use this again. We need to use this. We've just been a little slow at getting people onto this. Once we do, all of this will be in here and we'll actually ditch CTE, commitment to excellence. But anywho, so let's go back into here. We're going to go back to performance by agent and we'll keep going. It's going to show who got new leads, how many have been converted, the total team conversion, all of this stuff. Okay, so it's based on where people are in your lead, in your workflow. Marketing. Okay, if you guys use Google Analytics, stop logging into Google Analytics because this is going to tell you everything that Google Analytics does. Might actually tell you a little bit more, and it's so much more user-friendly. It will show how many visitors you've had over whatever time frame you want to set it for, your page views per visitor. And then because this is what Chime likes to do, they compare it to an average. So again, everything is averaged by everybody else that's using Chime. Now, if that's not cool, I don't know what is, but let's keep going. New versus returning. How many new visitors do you have versus how many are coming back to your site? How many average visitor activities are you getting? Here is the average. We're a little low right now, but again, for a site that's basically new and not really utilized because we've been so busy, we're doing okay. This is lower than I like to see. Visitors by source, page views by device. People are saying, but Brett, there's no mobile app for the user. Funny story about that. I actually want to show you. Let's see how many are. I want to show you something really fast because a lot of people say, but there's no user app. Oh, it's not going to let me log in. We looked at something because everybody says, well, but Real Geeks has an app for people. Yeah, so in the entire number of leads that I had in there, which most of you guys know is astronomical, 12 people used the app. Let me rephrase that. Thousands of leads, 12 people used the app. Chime has an app. Chime's app is for the agent. It has an agent app, which has all of this crap in here. So you can literally operate from your cell phone, which I don't know if you're like normal agent, but most of us work from our cell phone. You do not have to be in front of a desktop. You can have, here's everything broken down by visitors, page views, everything for site traffic. So you have all this. If you use them to do, this is them actually doing ads for us right now. This has been going on for this week. You can get an idea of how it's doing. We don't actually do seller lead gen with them. Okay, we're gonna go to my favorite feature, literally my favorite feature, and this is the thing that is going to save you so much time. It's literally not even funny. So we're gonna, first of all, we're gonna do this in a very specific way here. We're gonna go today. We're gonna go recommended listing, new listing. We're gonna go all cities. We're gonna go with single family homes. We're gonna go filters. We're gonna go by detail. Okay, let me make sure. I'm just doing a minor thing here so you can see exactly what it is we're doing. But you can get it so that it is going to tell you all of the new listings that came on the market and all the leads that match that listing. Now, why is that cool? I think a lot of people want to know why that's cool, but some of you are getting it already. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get it so it only shows Aurora per agent. And that is, give me a second here, because we have it under a certain way right now. Okay, cool. So what this is going to show you is it's going to show you all the match leads. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Aurora. So these 7 people match indicators. So they have 5 matching factors. Here's why they're a matching factor. Here's why they're a matching factor. Here's why they're a matching factor. So this new lead or this new house came on the market, right? So we have a whole bunch of people that are interested in this. So we can sort by, undo everybody, just go to Aurora. All of these people now, we can click on them. We can send them all an email and say, basically we can change this to whatever we want. We usually change this to say like, hey, first name, saw this property that made me think a lot about you. It looks like the same, it looks like it matches most of your features or whatever. Do you want to go get a tour? Now, that's one way to do it. The other way is you text everybody. We text everybody. So if we find one that has like, we'll use the 6 matching factors on this one, we'll literally text him and be like, hey, this just popped up. What do you think? It looks like it's a pretty good match. Now, this is where a lot of people will say, okay, I get it, Brett. Why is this so cool? Let me tell you an average morning with me, okay? Or with Aurora now. I'll tell you my old average morning. Every morning I used to get on to Real Geeks. I would search by all the new properties on the actual website. And when I get through all those properties, I would finally look at everything and be like, all right, we have 15 new homes on the market today. Out of the 15 new homes that are on the market today, let's take a look at, like on this one, we have 5 new houses that hit the market today. So I'd look at that and I then have to go back to my lead manager and go, okay, who matches this? So I'd have to go through all like 40,000 leads and figure out who matched what. With this, we can get all of that done in about 15 minutes. Why? Because it's going to tell us exactly who matches these leads. Now, why is that cool? Because it actually gives you a reason to follow up with someone. Everybody needs valid reasons. It's really awkward after you've followed up with people so much like, hey, still looking for houses? Cool. You guys do anything for the 4th of July? That's nice. Or there's this. Hey, Bill, saw that 8611 West Packard just popped up on the market today. Did you have a chance to check that one out? No. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, so it just popped up on the market. Looks like it's a really good fit. Dude, I'm going to text it to you right now. If you like it, let's go schedule a showing on it because I don't think it's going to be around that long. If it works for you, let me know. Okay, you have a valid reason to reach out to someone. This is what we call keeping you informed about what's on the market. That's exactly what this does. So my advice to you is, if you are right now trying to figure out, how do I get in front of people? How do I follow up leads? Brett, what's your lead follow-up plan? Aurora will spend 15 minutes a day going through, and she follows up with everybody, and it feels very, very personal. So that's the beauty of the recommended listings, but it gets better than that. Gets better. We're going to do a price reduced. These two houses were price reduced today. Now, Aurora has shown this house probably at least 15 times since it came on the market. So what she's going to do, or what she already has done, we're at 10 o'clock this morning. What she has already done, she's gone into here. She's clicked off all of these. She's clicked on herself. She's taken all of these people and she has sent them a text, or most of them. I think she realized, if you're a realtor and you're in this list, she will not do it to you. But to everybody else that she's shown to, and I know a good number of these people in here she's shown to, she texted everybody, hey, 2400 Concord just did a $5,000 price drop. What are your thoughts? Okay. Why is that cool? Because if you've shown homes to people and then they do a price drop on them, you can stay right back in front of them and have a valid reason to reach out to these people. But I'm not even close to being done yet, because it even gets cooler than that. Back on market. Now, how many of you have ever had a lead or a client write an offer on a house, not get it, and then be all upset? Like, oh man, that was my dream property, right? So right now, we don't have any that are back on the market, but when they do come back on the market, you can quite literally go, hey, Bill, did you see that 2410 South Arthur came back on the market today? No. Dude, I'm texting it over to you right now. This is the one, just so you don't forget which one this is. I'm telling you, we need to go see it, because I know you guys had that offer in. I think we should, if you're still interested in it, I think we should write an offer on it. Guys, that worked so well, it's not even funny. Again, relevancy on calling someone. Why are you calling them? What is the relevant reason you're calling somebody? That is a great reason. You obviously have your listings, your team listings. So when you take a new listing, for example, you can find out who matches that. Here's all the leads that match that. So there's the recommended listings function. Now, I cannot begin to tell you how much money we have made because of this. Aurora has killed it because of this. This is the absolute best feature in Chime. Now, if you're in the Real Estate Underground, go watch my 5 favorite features. You'll see this brought up again, and in way more detail. We've already talked about transactions a little bit. This is activities timeline. Here's all the stuff that everybody's doing right now. There's your settings page where you can change anything and everything you want. But I want to dive into smart plans for a second. So we've talked about this briefly. This is the library. If you sign up using the youneedchime.com link, you will get all of these, because these are all with me. The other thing that this can do, so I want to show you how crazy cool this is. You can set up a standard plan. You can make your own. You have team smart plans. You have your smart plans. You have all of this stuff. But what it teaches you to do, let's see if it'll let me do this. Yeah, I was trying to do something. I was trying to show you what this can do. What this will end up doing, though, is you have a drip campaign, a workflow, or an automation. Automation, past closings. Automation, buyer viewed a listing multiple times. Automation, buyer saved a listing. Workflows, buyer lead from Facebook, open house visitors, Zillow, all of this. And we'll talk about open houses here in a minute, because if you do open houses, this is even cooler. Lead type, scenario, you have all of this stuff in here. So this all comes with the youneedchime.com link. So these are smart plans. Now, these are if-then smart plans. What does that mean? That means if the buyer or if the lead does this, then this happens. If the lead does that, then this happens. Why is that cool? Because if you use Real Geeks right now, you do not have that option. It is a very standardized, you'll send this, then wait 4 days, then send this, then wait 4 days, then send this, then wait 4 days. But if you want more than that, if you want something that is intuitive, that's what this is all about. It is intuitive on what kind of things it's sending out. Also, it'll send an email, it'll send a text, and it will remind you to call somebody. It is very, very intuitive. So that's the whole smart plans thing. If you want to see more about that, you can literally hit guide and it will tell you, here is what you send for initial contacts. Here is what you send for nurturing. Here is what you send for opportunity capture. Here is what you send for property marketing. Here's what you do for transaction. Here is the after closing. It tells you how to do all of this. All of this was created by a few of us that went in and were like, here's how you do this. And this is based on successes that we've had. Let's talk about open house really fast because we are running out of time. If you do open houses, this actually loads a lot better. I don't know if it'll let me do this. Enter responsive mode. Let's go with iPad. Come on, there it is. It will let you sign in on the iPad. Here, what's your name, what's your email, what's your phone number. You can change these to whatever you want them to be. Point being, you can literally edit the questionnaire to be whatever you want it to be. You basically now can send your iPad in with you, and instead of having to then later import or use Zapier to import into Real Geeks, it automatically updates. So if you spend money on Open House Pro for your iPad, you don't need to do that anymore. That just saved you another whatever weird value they put on that. I think it's $19 a month. So this is free and it's already in, you've already got it. Then there's the dialer. It has a built-in dialer. You can do whatever you want. We actually are not, we are using the texting package, but we're not using really much of the calling. We don't do much calling. But if you don't have Ava, it will do auto welcome text. We have Ava, so we've turned it off. I do want to show you text codes. So let's say, for example, you sent out a flyer or a just listed or just sold postcard, and you were like, for more information, text Morris to that phone number. So you put on there, for more information about this property, text Morris to 509-203-7390. It will literally send this out. So if you put those on flyers, if you put those on just sold or just listed postcards, if you want to put value on one of these and send it out as a just sold card or a what's my home worth card, if you do farming, you can use these text codes to send anything you want. The best part about that is it will bring them right back to your website where they will register. That, my friends, is freaking cool. We have actually done away with, we used to use drive-by tech. We've done away with that. Now everything goes through Chime. So instead of, we'll put, we actually are putting actual like numbers on each house. So it'll be like text Aurora 4 to 509-203-7390. We'll take that and we'll run that instead. It works really, really, really well because we do not put phone numbers on our signs. The only phone number then that goes on the signs is this number. So if they call this number, it forwards to Aurora's phone, or in our case right now, it actually forwards to our answering service. We have a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week answering service because she just gets too many phone calls. So either way, it goes to a live human being that is going to answer the phone. So here you go. So I think support and sales have a hard time explaining this to a real estate agent. You can add a text code. So you can actually put on here valuation or value. You don't even need to put a listing in here. You can put any form of template that you want in here. You can send them to your home valuation page, and then they could get a home valuation page from that. So if you use any form of just listed, just sold cards, you need to be utilizing their text codes. If you use any form of sign in front of the yard, or you're putting flyers in somebody's yard, instead of having pricing on the flyer, put a text code. Text whatever your phone number turns out to be for more information on pricing. That way it gives you the most up-to-date information. That way, if you do a price improvement, you don't have to change your flyers. My point is, guys, we get so many leads that come through this, it's almost ridiculous. And all of that goes through Ava later on, and Ava does the follow-up on it. So, I mean, literally, this feature alone pays for the entire Chime platform about every week. So literally, we're so far ahead because of the text codes. Everybody texts. No one wants the confrontation of talking to an agent. So here's all of that. I'm trying to think of anything else that I have in here. I think I've gone through and I've answered most of your questions. You do have routing rules. You can get really crazy with your routing rules like we have. You can go very basic with them. You can have, let's go lender. Let's add a lender in here. So what I want you to see here is you can do a cost sharing plan, or you can just do a regular plan. Okay. So if you do a cost sharing plan, they will split 50-50 with you, which I don't know if you've noticed this, but that makes it so you don't have to be awkward about it at all. So if you spend money with your lender, we don't have our lender spend money with us. But if you look, it will actually allow them. So if you're doing buyer advertisements, so let me put this in a different way because I'm getting ahead of myself here. If you have Chime running your Facebook ads, running any form of your advertising, right? That also comes with this. If they're doing seller lead generation or buyer lead generation for you, your lender can split that with you. They will allow your lender to do that. If you just have the Chime platform and you want your lender to have access to those leads, you can also have them split your Chime platform with you. Guys, this is huge. Real Geeks would never, you always had to do it outside of Real Geeks. They wouldn't do it any other way. If you're like me and you don't charge your lender anything to be on there, this is how you set them up. Katie is on there. She does her thing. You can add agents in here. You can add, you can do all kinds of stuff. But my point is, I kind of talked a lot longer than I planned on, but you guys had a lot of questions on here. So I really hope that was kind of a good enough walkthrough that you can understand exactly what we're doing with this and how this is so much different. I think a lot of people get hung up on the price. I really do. I think a lot of people get hung up because they're like, but Brett, it's like $200 more than Real Geeks. Yeah, it is. And the way that I look at this is I am always looking to do more business. And the way that I try to justify in my head how I do more business is if I add X provider or X service or X lead generation, will I get enough deals out of it to offset the cost of the actual service? $200 a month, guys, I know what your markets are, okay? If you get one deal added because you saved additional time because you used the listing tool right here, because you went through and you saw your matched leads and you saw who was a good match for that house, you got one more closing because of that. Or if your text writer or your text code got you one additional buyer, then that makes it worth it. My point is $200 difference. There is so much more value in here because, first of all, most of you are going to be ditching a lot of extra stuff you have. Infusionsoft, RealVolve, Commitment to Excellence. All of these other providers that you have right now are no longer needed because with Real Geeks, I had to duct tape and bandage basically my entire platform together using Zapier, using API, webhooks, using all kinds of crap. I had to hold it all together. That went away. It went away because I don't need it anymore because it's all done in here. So yes, is it $200 difference? Yes. Do I think you could quite literally get at least an additional 2 to 3 deals a month because of this? I think anybody using this platform can get at least one additional deal a month. And I don't know what your commission is, but 1 deal a month, so 12 deals a year. If you can't do 12 extra deals a year using this, there's not a problem with the system. It's a problem with you. And at that point, find a coach and have them teach you how to use this. My point is, long story, guys, we covered a lot in this, right? I've been talking for a while on this. Chime is going to take over the main spot, I think, probably within the next year. I think people talk about Boomtown. People talk about Real Geeks. This is like taking all the good features of Boomtown and all the good features of Real Estate Webmasters and all the good features of KV Core and all the good features of Real Geeks and putting it at a price point that everybody can afford. These guys, Chime, could have easily charged double to triple what they're charging right now. And people like me would have paid it because I get what this does and I get what this will do for my business. Once you get in and try this, you too will start seeing what I'm talking about. And I'm not kidding when I say that. So my advice is watch this again. I promise you're going to get something out of this the next time you walk through it. Go to youneedchime.com, www.youneedchime.com, and schedule a demo. Their demo is probably not going to be this in depth. But if you're part of our Real Estate Underground and you want questions answered about this, please hit me up on there because I would be more than happy to answer any question you have. Guys, that's all I've got for today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Talk to you soon.